Well, pasta night is a fairly relatively common staple in a lot of families. It's cheap, it can be fast, and it's pretty easy. But our next guest says if you're really wanting to raise your game and learn some Italian magic, she has got some tips for you. Diana Testa, founder of Italian Cooking Lessons. Good morning.
Good morning.
It,
Thank you for having me.
well, it's great to have you. So, a lot of people just grab, whatever is buy one, get one. They'll get their sauce, they'll have their pasta night. Are they making a mistake?
Oh, yeah, they buy the store bought pasta. That is the first mistake, or the already made sauce.
Why is that a mistake?
Oh, because it's not the way that we do it in Italy. We make our own pasta and we make our own sauce. So it's so easy to make. It's really very, very, very simple.
It doesn't sound easy, I'm just going to say, because, if I can grab whatever's on the shelf and I can put it in a pot and serve it, that sounds pretty easy. How do you persuade people to cross over if they're, eating frozen dishes or using mass produced ingredients?
For me, as an Italian, I will say just come over and take one of my class. So first of all, you want to use wholesome ingredients, just egg and flour. Can you believe that homemade pasta is just made of egg and flour?
No, is that true?
Oh my gosh, it is true. It will be just like 300 grams of flour and 3 eggs. So translated is 2 cups of flour and 3 eggs, and that's it. And you can make a batch of flour, and that can feed 4 people, so a family. And you can also dry it if you don't want to use it for that night.
So what kind of pasta are you making when you're making pasta? Is it like a spaghetti? Is it ravioli? What is it?
I make tagliatelle that you guys call fettuccine. I'm kind of learning the language. I don't know if you're aware, but it's just 6 years that I live here in Jacksonville, so it's not that much. I come from Milano. I'm between Milano and the Como area. So we have a different language. We call them tagliatelle and you call them fettuccine. But I also do ravioli, gnocchi, tagliatelle, orecchiette. So I use different kind of flour. So I can use 00 flour, zero, semolina, number 1, number 2. So we have different kind of flour. We don't have the all-purpose flour that you guys use here.
It's a
So
special pasta flour?
it is a special pasta
Where do you
flour.
get it? Is it at the store?
Oh, I use special ingredients that I import from Italy. So all my classes, I use special ingredients.
I gotcha. So what is the single most important item for any Italian recipe? Is it a food item? Is it a seasoning?
It is not. It's the love that you put.
Hmm.
It's the love that you put and the attention that you put for the ingredients and following. It's actually, but it's really the love and the intention that you put.
So how did you start cooking? I mean, you are from Northern Italy.
Hmm.
You've lived a lot of places, though. When did you begin cooking?
At a very young age, I had my nonna that guided me. But every Italian learn how to cook at a very simple age. As much as you can reach the table, you start to cook. The parents let you mess up in the kitchen. We all have a kitchen, and you learn to cook. Even my kids, I have 3 kids. I let them cook in the kitchen. I wrote a book as well, and in the cookbook, they are their recipes because I let them cook. So you cook as far as you grow up.
You have to be willing to tolerate a little bit of a messy kitchen.
Of course. So this is something when I notice when I do in-home cooking classes and people always try to clean the counter and say, "Don't worry about that. I will clean up all the mess."
Uh-huh. And it is, I think, sometimes difficult for people to take just a completely messy kitchen, though.
Yes, it
Inviting their
is.
kids in to.
It is. Yeah, you have to let them. Cooking is an art. This is why it's like you have to dare. Sometimes things don't turn up. So you just have to dare and mess up with the ingredients. And sometimes it was hard for me. And I also recognize this, finding the right ingredients here in Jacksonville, especially. We don't have like a store that carries all my ingredients. So I have to find substitutes as well.
What ingredients do you have trouble finding?
Oh, like the yeast is one of them, the sauce, and the flour. The
Yeah.
flour. So when I go to Italy, I will use the word smuggle, but I'm not really smuggling ingredients. I bring my capers. They're called capperi di Pantelleria. So Pantelleria is an island of Sicily. So I will bring capperi di Pantelleria, olive taggiasche. I will bring all my little ingredients in my suitcase. And because I do also culinary trips in Italy twice a year or whenever I can, I will bring all my ingredients in my suitcase. So I bring everything that is small that can. I don't bring the flowers too heavy, but whatever is special, I will bring in my suitcase
But
because it makes a difference.
talk about the travel that you do. What are those trips like, and who participates?
Oh, the people that participate in my trips are the people that they take cooking classes with me. So my trips are relatively small, is in between 24, 25 people, including me. So I'll be going with them. And we take cooking classes there. So far, we're taking them in Tuscany. So we are around the Firenze area. And they're culinary and wine tasting tours. So you do cooking classes with me, and in the meantime, we travel through Firenze, Lucca, San Gimignano, Siena. So every day we discover a little bit of Tuscany. There is a little bit of cooking around and wine tasting because we are in the Chianti area. There's a lot of fun.
You teach classes around town.
Yeah.
Where do you teach?
A little bit around everywhere, like breweries, coffee shops. Can I name some of them?
Sure.
Of course. So Legacy, and then of course Myrtle. Used to do them at Blue Bamboo as well, and gosh, remember them all. Round Bird,
Hmm.
that's one of them. I will forget all of you guys because you are quite a lot. But I do them around town. Native Son as well is one of my big. I do them from North Jacksonville to South Jacksonville, and I do them a lot in home.
You have an event coming up at Blue Bamboo, don't you?
Oh my gosh, yes, I do. I wrote a book, guys. It came out of my customers kind of said, Diana, do you have a cookbook? All my recipes were all over. If I mean all over the house, right? A little bit in the kitchen, a little bit in the office, a little bit in my computer. By doing team buildings, somebody asked, why don't we give your cookbook as a giveaway? And I said, which cookbook? The cookbook that I don't have. So thank God, I met somebody through Dennis, Chef Dennis, of course. He wrote a cookbook and he put me in contact with Kim Benton, his publisher, which I'm very grateful. And she set me down and said, Diana, you can do this. Say, but I don't know how to write in English, even though, I do know, you can hear. I speak English. And yes, I wrote a complete cookbook, Diana's Italian recipe, like Nonna used to make.
Ah, so April 27th, 2 to 4 at Blue Bamboo.
That's right.
All right. Well, Diana Testa, it's wonderful to have you. Thanks so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.